Hello, Tamers, and welcome back to the King's Court. We just finished our Evo Cup at our locals.
Exciting!
And we have our first place winner. You know him, you love him. Give it up for Seabit.
Thanks.
You look tired.
I am tired. That last round was so stressful, but so was round 2.
Did you legit also just get off work before you got here?
Yeah, but I mean that's normal.
That's life.
And let us know, what has been your multiple toppings you've got? Because you've got pretty good places.
We've gotten people in the comments requesting your deck.
I've gotten top 40 at numerous Evo Cups, Ultimate Cups, and regionals. My highest placing at a regional was 28th, and we didn't get a deck list on that, but
We wanted
I'm so
to.
excited. It was during BT13 format. And so far, it's just been playing around with BT14 and BT15, trying to find the perfect ratios for everything.
We've been trying to bring the deck here on the channel again for a while. It's just legit just been timing.
I mean, do we even need to say what deck it is? I mean, look at the play mat, look at the sleeves.
Timing and timing and just not getting the best luck.
All right,
But
what deck are you running in this lovely event? Since you might as well ask for the fans at home.
yeah, I won Evo Cup using Dorbickmon. 4 rounds. It did in a few rounds, but not this time, thank God. 4 rounds. Round 1 was Levy, and I got that 2-0. Round 2 was Numamon, which was so stressful, and I got that 2-1. Round 3 was Hunters, 2-0, and then round 4 was Heavy Leo, 2-1.
What was your hardest matchup today? Leomon?
Numamon and
Numamon?
Leomon. You could see Numamon why, because it just swarms the deck much faster than I can build up.
So you didn't get shit on this deck.
Not this time.
We'll have that up later this week.
Yep.
We have a lot of matches with this one.
All right, so let's get to the cards.
Yep, let's get to the cards. Let's start with the eggs. For this build, I run
Eggy.
3 copies of Digimon. When attacking, if it has Guilmon, Groundmon, or Gallantmon, draw 1.
Because you play like a Guilmon engine, right?
I play an entire Guilmon engine. I think there's about 8 Guilmons in here. And having 3 instead of 2. Usually it's 2, it's usually 4 other builds. But we have a new card for BT14 that helps when you, for the 5th egg. But I decided to run that at 2 because I had other eggs in the case I didn't draw into Guilmon.
Also, just like the Poopmon deck profile we got, sorry for the glare on the cards. There's lights above them, so we can't do anything about that.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So 3.
I mean, as long as you say the name.
Yep. One day I'll get the alt. But
I know your pain. I still want those Koromon.
And the other 2 is 2 copies of BT14 Koromon. This is in case you don't draw your Guilmon, which happens a lot often than you think.
My boy Koromon. Isn't that the one you got from me?
Yes.
Nice.
You can digivolve onto anything, and then its effect is pretty good because it doesn't require you to attack. It just says once per turn when a card is removed from security, draw 1, which is really good when you don't have the Gio. It also functions as a pseudo Digimon, so that helps a lot with consistency.
Would you ever think of changing up your eggs, or are you good with these?
I alternate. Sometimes it's 4 Koromon, 1 Digimon. Sometimes it's 4 Digimon, 1 Koromon. This time I went 3 Digimon, 2 Koromon.
Nice.
And I think that works out. That's it for the eggs.
All right, get ready to take notes.
Time for the rookies. 4 copies of Promo Guilmon. Pretty simple. When attacking, draw 1. This is your most important draw engine.
Pot agreed.
Pot agreed, basically. When attacking, usually you expect it to die. If it doesn't die, it's pretty surprising.
Somehow it has jamming without having jamming.
Unlucky.
Oh, if it had jamming, it'd be even better. Jamming and draw 1?
Oh, sorry about this. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit.
They're good.
Sorry, everyone. I need to zoom in a bit. That glare is really bugging me.
I also like to have one of as many alt arts of this card as possible. So far there are 3 alt arts. DC
That's
one,
a
the
lot
original,
better.
and the Royal Knights.
Okay, nice.
So that's the first Guilmon. And then it's 1 copy of EX3 Guilmon.
Only one?
This is why I run the 3rd Digimon in case I see this starting hand. And I think it worked a bit because it's a purple 1 cost, so I can't digivolve it over the Koromon. But I figured its on deletion effect would really help me because if it swings and it dies, I can pop a level 3k or less, and that gets rid of the Chikurimon. And if there's nothing to pop, I mill 2 to help build trash.
Very nice, right, Michael?
Yep. And then 1 Rush Geo. I fill up the trash a lot, and with Dorbickmon's Legion, you usually get enough to be able to rush this for games. It's another type of win con.
Very nice.
And then 2 copies of Guilmon X. Did you all over any of the Guilmons to get rid of that floodgate? Because Chikurimon will ruin your day.
Yeah, it gets rid of those tiny little floodgates. It's pretty good.
Yep. You don't have to worry about playing by effects in this deck, but the memory blockers and the play cost reduction blockers really hurt. So this gets rid of them.
I've seen it.
The heritable will come up someday when I have it under, but currently not yet. So that's all the Guillemons. And then I have 2 copies of Agumon.
My boy.
Yep,
Well,
one attacking, draw
we'll discuss
2K.
this one.
It's not once per turn, which really helps with a different card. I usually go between 3 or 4. 3 or 4. 3 or 2.
Technically, this is
But I'm going for 2 for right now just because I have a different name.
makes sense.
Yeah, because that's unfortunate. The Dorbick is not different card numbers, but different names.
Yep.
So
Next
weird.
card is BT18 Gamma. I originally used to run the promo Gammas with 2K and Hero, but I don't have enough heroes to justify that, so I decided to play this one. It's got another 3K deletion, so you can pop any small bodies. And then on deletion, if you ever play a red tamer, you get to draw 1. This is another
BT what gamma?
BT8.
Oh, I thought you said 18. I'm like,
No, the first one. I wish. We'll
he's a
see.
time-
We'll see what
I heard
18
that
brings
guy's
us.
a time traveler.
Maybe.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's the Gammon. And this one I ran it, and I don't usually run it. 1 copy of EX3 Jazzamon.
Wow, that's surprising.
You're never gonna get. You don't run Hina, so you never get the Mamer gain. But the alterns gain 1K. On play actually helps quite a bit with DP reduction and bottom decking.
That makes sense.
Yep, so that's all my rookies. And on the level 4, we have 2 copies of Black Growlmon. Black Growlmon will digivolve off any Guillemon for 2. You trash 2 cards off both players' stacks, and then you can recycle your Guios, your Growls, and your Gallants. And the on-deletion is really good because in the case Dorbickmon dies, you get to recycle back something else.
Nice.
Usually a Guillemon.
Very nice, right, Michael?
Yep.
Or in some cases, your gallon.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can also Evo, unlike the EX3 Growlmon that has security attack +1, this can digivolve off red as well, which is really good. Then we have 1 copy of Gain Memory Growlmon. This one's pretty self-explanatory. Use it to keep turn. And it's a 4-drop, so you can also drop it if you need to choke him to 1.
Very nice.
Next is 2 Burning Greymons. Usually it's
A
1 or
hybrid
2,
for the
but
game.
hybrid for game. You can digivolve it off your Tamers for 2. If you ever use Takuya, you can pop a 4K, but as of this format, there really isn't any use for the second effect.
Yeah, I can see
Not
that.
yet. Then we have 2 copies of Greymon.
My boy.
Security attack +1. Pretty self-explanatory. You need as many of these if you don't see any Tamers.
Yeah, I'm happy whenever I see that card.
And then 1 copy of Tyrannomon.
The card you really wish had more support.
More support or just a reduced cost. But on play lets you play a Tamer with 3 costs or less, which will come up in a bit later. But it's really for that if you have a Tamer, gain 2K, so you have another 2K source.
We'll take what we can get, right?
Yep. And then I believe it's 1 copy of Ginyumon from BT15.
Ginyu
This-
Force?
Ginyu Force, maybe. This is funny because its only requirement is if you have Digipolice or X antibody trait, which means if you go into Guillemon, you go into Geo X, you can digivolve off this for 2. It's got blocker, on play when digivolve, and can suspend something. Won't send it for the turn, but sometimes you need to get rid of those blockers. The all turns effect really comes in handy because you can put it under Dorbickmon to suspend a Tamer or a Digimon. Usually a blocker.
Analog man.
Yep.
Yep, so Michael's analog man.
Yep, and I believe that's all for the 4s, so let's go on to the 5s. 2 copies of Master Tyrannomon, security attack +1 inheritable, 4-drop.
Christmas.
If it ever gets de-digivolved into, you get another security attack, so it's not the end of the world.
Tyrannomon Rush.
Tyrannomon Rush. Then it's 2 copies of Voltramon, another security attack.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty self-explanatory.
You'll see why he has so many of these soon.
Yep, you need as many as possible. 2 copies of Jazzerichmon.
Aren't you
Usually
back
I
and
either
forth in that?
either I run it at none or 1. This time I
Yeah.
decided to go for 2.
How'd that work
And it seems to have worked out because I definitely needed the security attack +up at some times. And the on-play actually came up a few times just to de-digivolve something in case I get put to a lot of memory.
I know what you mean.
Yep. And then it's, I believe, 1 copy of Lava Garudamon. You rarely on-play it, but sometimes you can. The all turns effect is important because if you slot it on a Dorwick and something dies on the opponent's turn, you do get the memory gain. So it's a better EX. It's a better starter deck Growlmon.
Makes sense.
And then we have, for the 5s, 2 copies of Majiramon. Majiramon for the unsuspend. Usually you're clearing a whole stack with Dorbickmon, and if it leaves either nothing on field or a level or a body without a source, so untap, and that's one of your biggest win conditions in this deck. The when digivolving will never come into play unless you run a blue source, which might there might be more in the future.
You
So
mean
we
like
might
you did
actually
with the
get to that.
Cordramon?
Yeah, if you run Cordramon, this is actually funny interaction with this. That's all the 5s. On to the 6s. We got 4 copies of our boy. Because you can either see a bunch of them or you'll never see them, but you need a max 4. Gains Rush, Digicross 2 for 5 Digimon with Dragon Sword or Ceratopsians in their traits, but different numbers.
Names.
Different names,
If it was-
thank you.
if it was
numbers,
numbers,
I'd have less issue. But yeah, on play, delete a 3K or less, go up to 13. Guillemonics can make it 14. And this is your game ender because you have to draw into this, and you have to make sure to have enough to clear the board. I'm really excited for what comes up next in the deck, but we'll talk about that later. And we have 2 copies of BT-13 Gallant. Dorbickmon may die in security, it's either to an option or to higher DP. And you fill up your trash pretty fast, which will usually leave you without a board. And if it does, you can just play these with a reduced cost to pop something else and rush. And it also has rush, so it keeps attacking, so it keeps up your aggro.
And there are times it does get locked in your hand, though, sometimes.
Yeah, you don't want to see this in your starting hand. That's it for the 6s. And for the 7s, this came out way more than it should have, but it definitely helped. 1 copy of Death X. It's a pretty standard. If they go wide, you drop it.
When you have something in your deck and you need to solve it.
Yep.
Death X. A slap in Death X.
You slap in the Death X. I had to drop this for 14 today, and it worked out. You usually never do that, but 14 drop, cleared the whole field, and they couldn't build back up, so yeah, I kept it in. That's it for the Digimon. On to the draw engine. 4 copies of Fireball.
All them are 4 hubs.
Yep, all of them are 4-up. Draw 2, delete a 3K, so it's another way to get rid of those Chikuris. But you do often want the draw once more, especially if it's in security. I really love this altar, by the way. It's really good.
Pyro's here.
And then 3 copies of Memory Boost. I used to run 2. One time I tried 4, but it got cloggy. I like 3.
That's my favorite artwork from Coromon.
Yep. Reveal 4, add something. If you're running more multicolors, you might want to bump this a little bit down because they're higher chances of you to whiff. And this should be my other option. 2 copies of Analog Boy.
Self-explanatory.
Self-explanatory. 2 drop. It will search any color, so it's better to play it off when Memory Boost won't get you anything. But it fills up trash for Gallant. And my favorite part is that all turns, if Dorbickmon dies and it has a source, usually it does, you can tap him to gain 1 memory for each, hatch, and keep going.
On a related note, would you change the memory boost for the scramble cards when they come out?
I want to put at least 1 or 2 because the ability to recycle a Dorbick and play out another source is really, really good.
I'm definitely going to be experimenting with those cards.
I'm going to have to experiment with this. I tried with trainings, and that's a 50-50.
Well, it's probably because you want to see your cards, right?
Yeah. That's the draw engine. And finally, last should be the last 1 copy of Crimson Blaze.
Poop.
I can't do much against Numa without it,
Yeah, I can see why.
which is funny because I used it against him. I think it cost me the game.
Ouch.
But yeah, stopping play cost effects is very important right now,
True.
especially against my last match with Fortitude. What else do I have to say about this? I need to get the gold rare at some point. But yeah, I run this over, say, Gatsumon because Gatsumon can get wiped, especially by Numamon, who could just wipe an entire board.
Understandable.
And then if it pops in security, it's really good. And finally, the Tamers. 2 tie and 1 hero.
Did you ever change these up or you happy with these?
I did not see hero as often as I did, and that was stressful because I would have tie a lot, and I ran into security quite a few times and died. But I usually play around either 2 heroes, 1 tie, 2 heroes, 3 heroes, or 3 ties.
I know the feeling.
I'm looking forward to BT16 though, because we're getting more inheritables with 2K, which means hero might just go away and I'll do nothing but dies.
Makes sense. If you need a spare, I got spares.
Sure.
All right, that's
That's the end of the deck.
All right, so that's Carlos, everyone, or Seed as we call him. Pretty much, you can see him here on the channel. We're seeing a lot more of him. And let us know what you think of the deck in the comments. You have anything you want to say to the peoples before we go?
EX7 reveals are really exciting for this deck.
He will not stop talking about them. He is very hyped.
Are we getting a new Dorbick?
I wish.
At least I got a new Greymon. I'm happy. You can just play that Greymon.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
That's it for here. And thanks, if you got in the sport, thanks for watching. And we'll see you next video. Take care.
Later.
Bye.